Hello, welcome to Single and Married with Ezzy. My name is Ezzy Odimoko. I'm a mom, a pastor's wife, and I enjoy talking about relationships. I have authored 2 books, Relationship Smart, Love, Courtship, and Marriage for Every Woman, and Brighter Days, 100 Thoughts of Hope, Love, and Blessings. Both books are available for you wherever you get your books. They're also available on Amazon. Today, I am continuing on Foundations for Marriage Part 2. So if you missed last week's episode, you can find it. That was Foundations for Marriage Part 1. So today, I am continuing from where I left off. Okay, so we are talking about the building blocks, the things that need to be in place in order for your marriage to be successful. Okay, so you are there, you're single, you want to build a happy marriage, you want to have a happy home someday. This is for you. Okay, this is for you. These are foundational principles. These are things that when you put them in place and you continue to build on them, you are guaranteed to have success. And so for those of you who are married, these are principles that you can continue to build on. And you say, how can I ensure that I am continuing to build on this? Right? So it is good for everyone, whether you're single or married. So Foundations for Marriage and Part 2. Okay. So 1 is leaving. Okay. What do I mean by this? This is a word they're going to hear, from me a lot, right? Leaving. What does that mean? This word comes from Genesis chapter 2, verse number 24, where the Bible says, "For this reason shall a man leave and cleave." Leave his mother and his father and cleave to his wife. All right. What does leaving mean? If you are gonna build a strong marriage, you have to leave. And what does that even mean? That means you have to grow into maturity, into where you leave certain things that you had as a young boy, young girl, right? And leave those as you move into this other phase of life. Okay. And I try to look at it differently. Okay. I look at it from living emotionally. What does that mean? So that means if you were the kind of person who would always run to their mom, right, for emotional strength or for emotional well-being, right? When you leave, that means you are leaving that emotional support, and you are going to find that emotional support now in your spouse, now in the marriage, right? So that's emotional leaving. Financial leaving means that you're not relying anymore on mommy and daddy, right? Because when you now get married, you're going to do your best to live within the means of what you and your spouse can provide for the family. You're not always running back. Oh, there's no food. Oh, I need this. Daddy is going to pay for this vacation. Daddy's going to buy this car, because then you haven't left, right? Then you have not left because your family continue to dictate and support you. So you haven't left, right? So for this reason shall a man leave, right? And I'm just going to say this because, God knows why he said the men should leave, because naturally women find it easy, because women love relationships. They love to nurture. They love to build relationships. They find it easy to adapt, to form a new loving relationship. And that is why this command is to the man to say, you have to leave. You have to leave, relying on mommy and daddy for direction, relying on them for what next to do, relying on them for financial support, relying on them, emotionally, socially, mentally, what have you, right? And begin to form a new union and a new family with the wife that God has given you. All right. We're talking foundations for marriage. And now to my second point. Second point is cleaving. Okay. To cleave, to be joined, to be bound together. Right. they go hand in hand. If there is no proper living, there cannot be a proper cleaving. And the reason a lot of marriages have problems today is because there wasn't a proper living. And so it's difficult for the cleaving to happen, right? You can't cleave well when you haven't left well. All right. So what does cleaving mean? Cleaving is being united, being bound in union, in oneness with your spouse, right? Cleaving is becoming that union, right? That is why the Bible says there, shall live and cleave and do what? And become one flesh. And so they will no longer be two, but they'll become one. All right. And even goes on to say in Matthew, when Jesus was talking to the disciples, Matthew 19, he says, therefore, what God has joined together, let no man do or put asunder. All right. So if you're going to have a successful marriage, you want to cleave. Okay. So find ways to bond with your spouse, right? How are you going to bond? Find ways to communicate, find ways to share time together, find ways to share memories together, do things together, serve God together, do a hobby together, have an activity together, spend time with each other, communicate with one another, eat with one another, do things together. You're forming bonds, right? That are difficult to break. Find ways to cleave and create a beautiful union that is pleasing to God. Number 3 is oneness. Okay. Very similar to cleaving, but marriage is built on the principle of one. Okay. How many women did God bring to Adam in the garden? 1, right? How many women did he form from Adam's rib? 1. For this reason shall a man live and cleave to his wife. 1, right? So that oneness is a principle of one, right? You know, one, you guys are one. There's no other person, no exes, no people from before, no people from anywhere, right? You guys are building that oneness in God, right? You're building oneness spiritually. So how do you do that? You know, you fellowship together. Make sure you're fellowshipping together. Make sure one person is not going to one place, the other person is going to another place. No, make sure you're being built spiritually together. That is growing in oneness together. All right. Make sure you're praying together. You come together as a couple, you bring your needs before the Lord. That is growing in oneness spiritually, okay? Growing in oneness socially. You know, find companionship with one another, okay? Love to go out with one another, spend time with one another. That's how you build your oneness, right? Build oneness emotionally. Provide support for one another when there's a problem. Make time to hear your spouse. Okay, how was your day? How are you? You know, how you doing? Did you sleep well? You know, how was work today? How you feeling? Tell me, is there a challenge? And then you make time to hear. And that is how you grow in oneness. And there's so many ways that you can grow in oneness, right? But what you need to know is, you know, find ways to communicate, find ways to share your hopes, your dreams, your desires, your plans, your prayer points, you know, pray for one another. And, you know, these are all so many different ways that you can grow in oneness. Now, foundations for marriage. The last point I'm going to share with you today is family. Okay. Be a family oriented person. Be a person who, you know, who wants to be part of what God is building. Okay. God is interested in families. He says what? You know, be fruitful, be multiply, show interest in the family, care for your family, know what is happening with the family, know what is happening with the children, provide one for another, be invested in your family. When you do these things, you are laying a solid foundation for your marriage. You are being a great dad. You are being a great mom. And you know what? You don't have to be perfect. None of us is perfect, right? But so long as you're working toward it, you're doing what you can, God will give you grace to be the best mom, the best dad that you can be. In fact, I tell couples, one of the best gifts that you can give your children is the gift of a good relationship with your husband, the gift of a good marriage. When you invest in your marriage, you invest in your spouse, you are investing in your family. You are giving your children a secure home, a home that they know, hey, mommy and daddy are here. They are going to be here tomorrow. I can count on them. I don't have to be worried, right? So these are some of the things I want to share with you today. I'll see you next week. Now, if this has been a blessing for you, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to share it. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell button as well so that you get notified whenever I come online. Now, I host a monthly marriage mentorship class when I meet with couples, singles alike. It is a free class. It is virtual. And we talk about things relating to relationships and marriage, and we learn together. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, follow the links that you see to register and be part of it. Now, I'm excited because my 100th episode is coming up soon. Stay tuned. We're going to get more information out to you, but it's going to be exciting. It's going to be amazing. Stay tuned. Invite your friends, invite your family so that you can be part of what is happening here as Single and Married with Ezzy. So till next time, it is goodbye and God bless from Ezzy. Bye-bye.